working, not working, so I'll be doing this. So this is my highly recommended. No, scrap that. This is my very highly recommended. Scrap that. This is my you must buy these two books video. I would say this is the best story for story and art, and for the whole round reading experience I've had this year. This is the best book I've read so far this year. Forget about Absolute Batman and all that lot. This is the one that blew me away in so many ways. It's one of those where it's 2 volumes, and I read both volumes in one sitting, and I just devoured them. Yeah, I can't see another book beating this for this year. I think this will have the top spot for this year. So the book is, enough preamble, The Beast by Zidro and Frank Pear. So book 1 and book 2. And if you can see there, it says Marsupilami, the Beast. So Marsupilami, I'll read what it says here. Marsupilami is a whimsical and iconic character from the Franco-Belgian comic tradition created by André Franquin in 1952. First appearing in the Sparrow e Fantasio comic series, Marsupilami was introduced as a rare jungle creature with a long, prehensile tail and a playful cry of "Hooba!", a blend of marsupial traits and cartoon charm. Though initially a supporting character, Marsupilami's popularity led Franquin to supervise the dedicated spin-off series in 1987 under his own imprint, Marsup Productions, where the creature starred in independent adventures alongside its family. The character's appeal soon extended beyond comics. Marsupilami was adapted into animated television shows, including a notable Disney version in the early 1990s, and later by various French studios. It also appeared in video games and merchandise, solidifying its place in European pop culture. In 2013, Belgian publisher Dupu reacquired Marsup Productions, allowing Marsupilami to rejoin the Spirou and Fantasio universe in the 2016 release Le Colère du Marsupilami. Over the decades, Marsupilami has remained a symbol of imaginative storytelling, ecological themes, and cross-generational appeal, with its jungle antics and expressive design continues to captivate audiences worldwide. So Marsupilami started life as almost like a Disney cartoon character, like a Mickey Mouse kind of thing. He's kind of like got that status in Belgium. So what they've done, this team, they've done a reimagining of Marsupilami. So they've got rid of the cartoonishness. They've not lost the whimsy or the charm, but they're giving it more like a what would happen if it was actually real. So it's set with the backdrop of 1955. So it says here, the species existed long before we named it, Marsupilami, endowed with an oversized tail, impressive strength, great intelligence, a gift for empathy, and a ferocious appetite. The animal proves to be a real challenge for zoologists. Here is the true story of an animal that lost its way in the rain-soaked Belgium of 1955. So it's 1955, so it's 9 or 10 years after the end of the Second World War, and Belgium's still recovering from it because obviously they were very locale-wise, they're very, very close location-wise to Germany, etc. So that also feeds into the storyline as well with one of the main characters, and it's a surprising element that was. But first of all, I just want to stray to the art. As you can see, the art is amazing, and it gets you straight away because this team who's created this book, they're very, very, very clever. Unlike American comics or British comics even, they just take risks with building the scene. So it's more like watching a film than actually reading a comic. So you've got the opening shots of this harbour, and then you get a double page expansive shot of it. So it's setting the location and the scene for you. And then another opening shot, and then we start getting more like your traditional strip layouts. So it's focusing on this ship, and they're just inspecting the goods because there's been this storm and everything's been damaged, and they were carrying livestock. And they say, "Hold on, what's going on here?" And it turns out one of the creatures has escaped. A creature who just happens to have a very long tail. And so it sets the mystery up straight away. And again, back to the expansive cinematic shots. It's just breathtaking. So instantly, I was intrigued. I was in there. And then it shifts focus onto the other main cast members. So it opens up into this school where they're watching Charlie Chaplin. And this is so clever. This teacher is a lovely, lovely person. He's another one who becomes one of the main characters in this, and he's all the kids love him because he's such a soft touch. Like as you can see, he's playing Charlie Chaplin for them, and the headmaster is furious about this. And it's so clever because so you got Charlie Chaplin, so he's frees the film while he's having his rant. Oh, got lipstick on my comic. Mm. oh, oh dear. Right, okay, that's a collector's item now. Anybody wants to buy a Mandy lipstick smudge edition of the Beast? So as he's doing his round, this headmaster is laying into this teacher. It's frozen on this frame of Charlie Chaplin, and it's really clever because it just focuses on Charlie Chaplin's face, and it's like he's getting more startled by what the headmaster's saying. And then it shifts to this other scene from one of the other characters, and it's this fish market. And as you can see, it's just dreary. And you can almost smell the fish. And it focuses on this woman here, who two of these women have children at that school. Now, this woman here is a bit of a black sheep in the region because she fell in love with a German soldier, and her son is the byproduct of her dalliance with this German soldier. And so obviously everybody's nerves are still raw from the war because, like I said, it's only been nine or 10 years. And so it now focuses on to the next scene where Marsupilami is in hiding. But then we shift to our main character, who's the main character apart from Marsupilami, and it's this young boy here, like I said, whose dad was the German soldier. So he's got that stigma about him. He's treated as a freak. For one, his mum's a single mum, and not through being a widow like a lot of the others. You know, she's not a war widow, but she's a single mum and he's the byproduct of an affair she had with this German soldier. And they're not letting him forget that his dad was part of the German army. Now, it never states that he was a Nazi. It's a it's quite clever how they've done it. They've left it in they've just left it unanswered. He was either, was he, sympathetic to the Nazi cause or wasn't he? So it basically leaves it for you to decide. And so obviously, he's just like the school outcast. Nobody wants to know him. And it's just the arts. It's just beautiful. So it focuses back on. It moves on to his house, and he brings home a little warthog. And he turns out he's got this whole menagerie of all these stray animals where they've got limbs missing, they've been neglected. There's a quail who's got no feathers. It's just so charming, and it just shows them all here in his bedroom. It's just got so much warmth and character. It's like watching the best Disney film ever without the smolts. And again, just these where they set scenes with these pages, they're not afraid of taking pauses with the storyline to build up the next chapter. Oh, and this character's brilliant, this horse who he's adopted, who's ready for the knacker's yard. The horse keeps on drinking any alcohol that it can find, so it's a complete louse. It can smell alcohol. As soon as it smells alcohol, it'll try and nab it. And then he's got two beavers that are in love and live in the bath. But it comes to a point where he has an altercation when he's at this swimming pool, with some of the boys in the school. One of the boys is Jewish, and his dad died in the concentration camp. So obviously, he's got a lot of hate towards this boy. Um, and so they attack him and they shave his hair off, and he just scalps. He just runs for it. He's had enough. And while he's running away, oh yeah, and his teacher fancies his mum. So just remember that. But again, this, and just look at the gradients, how it changes here. So you get the full picture onto that. The use of space here is just absolutely fantastic. Then he sees his hand poking out. And so we now see what's happened to Marsupilami. He's basically completely Death Star. Obviously, he goes into protective mode because he's in this strange land. And it turns out he's got a voracious appetite with this extremely long tail. And the young boy basically adopts him, but there's this other group of people who's this zoologist. There's this vet and also this cryptologist. I forgot what you call it now. Where they deal with animals that are like you think are make believe, and they always investigate to see if they are real or not. So they comes. Just find it. Yeah, so they basically stick their oar in, and they basically want to kidnap the animal, who, like I said, who's formed this bond with this young boy. And so the animal tries to flee because he just gets freaked by all the commotion. And again, the artwork, it's just absolutely stunning. It's the best artwork I've seen this year. It's just blew me away. And he panics and he bites one of the children. And because of that, they alert the authorities, and he's billed as a wild animal, and he basically chase the animal and they kidnap all the boys' animals as well. And it really gets you. You're just like, oh my god. Again, so you see the chaos that's caused by it all. And this police officer, who you think, oh, he's going to be one of the bad guys. There's a very intriguing turn there. So you also get this subplot of this police officer and this the boy's teacher, who are both police officers, not vying for his mum's attention, but the teacher is. But his mum loves him in a uniform, and you can tell there's this natural attraction to each other. And so this one ends on a cliffhanger. I won't tell you what happens. I'm gonna give me like brief synopsis. So I've missed chunks out, whole chunks, because I don't want you to read it and not have any surprises. And so we move to the next section now, which ramps up the game. And again, it does its great opening shot where it just builds up, sets the scene, and we're now in the offices of that cryptozoologist. And again, the artwork, the humour in it as well. I forgot to mention the humour. The humour is perfect. It's got a perfect blend of humour, pathos, and heart. It's absolutely wonderful. And again, it's just scenes like this where snow suddenly appears. It's just gorgeous. So this is book 2, by the way. And there's a great turn. What I like about it, there's a great turn with these boys who were bullying the young lad, the main protagonist of the series. There's a really good dynamic change, and they go from being enemies to frenemies to friends, and it's really organic and natural how it's done. But again, let's just focus on that art for a minute. Just useful. So there's something happens. This is so hard to do this and try and be vague. And Marsupilami and the young boy go on an adventure. They're basically trying to find freedom. But I just want to focus on this part of this adventure is that they're riding the horse, who's a complete louse, and the horse smells. Whenever he smells alcohol of any kind, he makes a beeline for it, and he smells it in this pub, and he helps himself to the beer in the tap. Oh, I was just because I didn't expect to see this. I didn't see that coming. I was just in his. I was just laughing my head off when I read it yesterday. And again, like I said, you have this subplot of both of this teacher vying for his mum's attention. Again, just look at the dynamism and the layouts on these pages. And this is a gorgeous page, just where Marsupilami has never seen snow before. The little boy sticking his tongue out, getting the snow. He observes the young boy doing it, and he tries it himself. And all three of them, including the little pig, catching snow on the tongues. It's just beautiful. And then you have this. I mean, for God's sake, how beautiful is that? They didn't need to do that. It's unnecessary, but I'm all for it. Spoil us with more gorgeous artwork. So many of these pages are instant pieces of art. And then you have this wonderful, wonderful, frenetic chase scene. And there's a tip of the hat to Tintin, because obviously that time period as well. It covers so much. You've got this big adventure. You've got the commentary on the war. You've got the commentary of how things were in the 50s, because people are still hurting, smarting. There's a lot of prejudice going around, and he doesn't shy from it. But they do it in such a way where this book can be read by any age, but you don't feel like you're reading an all ages book. There's a maturity to it that just makes it a magical, wonderful experience. Again, these pages, the use of shadow. And this is the signs of there could be something maybe with the police sergeant and his mum. And then there's just this wonderful scene where they're trying to escape from where they're hiding. See, it starts with that page. Who's to that one? And that page, that one. Notice how the frame's getting bigger with each encompassing page till it gets to the big payoff there. And it's just so, so gorgeous. I know people say, oh, Black Sad's like the perfect European comic. I think this beats Black Sad, to be honest. And then, like I said, so there's that little action intermission, and then you have the chase proceeding again. It never feels static. There's always motion in the book, and even the secondary and the secondary and the most minor characters are fully formed. Whereas if you read some graphic novels or some comics, some minor characters can just feel like cut and paste kind of characters, but each one is full of life and personality. Again, and they don't. What's refreshing about it, they don't have to rely on words all the time. There's dialogue in it, but it's not dialogue heavy. It's natural. A lot of the pictures do the lifting, which is what you want with a comic. I mean, look at these pages, how it goes from panel to panel. But I am going to stop it there because I don't want to give away what happens. All I will say is these two books. I had a good day yesterday with the books I was reading. I've read some really cool books recently, but these two books, out of every book I've read this year, out of every comic I've read this year, these two books impacted me really, really well. I'm going to keep my eye out for Zidro and Frank Pear. Um, this is something special. This is magical. Like I said, it's like watching a film in comic form. Um, it's just gorgeous. It's from Magnetic Press. Each book is $24.99 in America, $33.99 in Canada. And with Magnetic Press, they've got this cool little round bits on here so they don't get bashed. And those are the covers. The spines line up like that. Do yourself a favour, even if you normally just read superhero comics, or you just buy your idea of going beyond superhero comics is just try an Image or Dark Horse. Take a dip your toes into some European comics. You will not be disappointed. And I think this is a wonderful entry point for European comics. It's even more accessible than Black Sad. It's got so much heart. The artwork is just beyond beautiful. And like I said, there's emotions to the story that propels you from scene to scene to scene. And that's why I waited for the second book, because I just wanted to see what it'd be like reading them together. And you don't feel, some books, if you read too many volumes, you can feel like, ugh, right, let's give myself up for the next one. No, this was seamless. It just flowed all the way through. And the payoff at the end was wonderful. It leaves you with a, I will leave you with, I'll give one little, it's not even a plot, but it leaves you feeling, you feel satisfied, you feel happy. It'd be awful if I recommend this and it's like the most traumatic ending in a book ever. But yeah, it's just wonderful. It gets a perfect 10 out of 10. Like I said, so far this year, this is the best thing I've read this year. So it's The Beast Part 1 of 2 and The Beast Part 2 of 2. Marsupilami. Like I said, it's reimagining. It's as if if you could imagine if they did like a real world in brackets version of Mickey Mouse. Yeah, you will not be disappointed. It's worth putting some of your regular books back on the shelf to make an investment with these. Hope you enjoy that. And I'm going to do this now because my bloody clicker doesn't work. Bye.